What's up, Otaku fam? We are the Otaku Couple back with more reactions here for the channel with more Gigguk. We have a manga about being stepped on. I'm sold.
Oh. I didn't even hear the title. I was like, what?
Honestly, I have no idea what this is talking about. I didn't recognize the thumbnail, so...
Sure. Likely story.
It's the true story.
Story.
But we've never seen a bad manga video from him, so I mean it's gonna be a good time regardless. Thank you guys for the continued support. As always, be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Every little bit helps. Be sure to check out our Patreon for full uncut reactions to anime, TV shows, and movies. A bunch of new shows starting this week. We're currently reacting to Vinland Saga, My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. A mouthful, and a Haikyuu. So if that interests you, be sure to check it out. Links down below. Every tier has a full list of all the shows involved in that tier, so you know what you're getting. Thank you guys. Let's hop on in.
All right, guys, hear me out. Slavery is bad. But I'm constantly on a journey to find the next great anime, the next great manga, and nowadays we are spoiled for choice. Recently, I just finished Vinland Saga Season 2, which is a masterpiece that shook me to my core. A human story so powerful, it can only give you a great experience, it can change your outlook on life. It's shows like these that remind me why I love the medium so much. But on this never-ending journey, some days I wake up and I remember, wait a minute, I'm a... What if I told you that I've discovered a high-intensity shonen action manga with amazing art about being a slave to an army of insane anime girls in military uniforms that can kick your ass and will find any way, shape, or form to sit in your face every other chapter? Now I know what you're gonna say. Giga, god damn it, what do you think I am, some weird perverted freak? Can you please stop trying to get me into your weird hentai fetish shit? So, what's the name of the manga again? There are times I want to remind people that I'm always striving to find the next anime or manga masterpiece and prove to the world that I'm still a functional member of society. And I remember that I play Honkai Star Rail. Hi, I'm Gigguk. And just in case you needed a monthly reminder that I'm still a piece of garbage, it's a manga about being stepped on by hot anime girls. Before we get stepped on by degeneracy, why don't we step on over to today's sponsor, PUBG Mobile.
Good old PUBG Mobile.
Free battle royale shooter with 8 different classic maps and a plethora of different game modes. I did not go out looking for a manga like this. This manga just happened to find me. Your Honor. See, I was just innocently browsing my local manga store when a manga cover caught my eye of a military-clad, smug anime girl looking down at me, emanating the purest step-on-me energy man could ask for with a single massive word plastered behind her. Slave. And my brain went, huh. Mato Seihe no Slave, or Chain Soldier, asks a simple philosophical question to all the guys in the world. Would you sell your dignity to be stepped on by a group of hot anime girls? Yes. In the manga's fictional apocalyptic year of 2020, a dangerous dimension called Mato emerges all over Japan, bringing with them monsters that terrorize the world and cause various disasters. Fortunately, with these monsters have come a new tool humanity can use to combat them. Peaches, a mysterious resource that can give humans supernatural powers they can wield, but granting these abilities to women and only women, causing male-female power balance to be completely flipped on its head. Men are now at the lower end of the social hierarchy, and Andrew Tate has become Andrew Cake. Enter Yuki Wakada, male, who's one day just minding his own business when he suddenly finds himself in a life-or-death situation in the Mato realm, facing off against an army of monsters. Thankfully, humanity has created a specialized combat squad of super-powered peach girls called the Anti-Demon Corps, and the commander of the 7th unit sweeps in just in time to save the day. This is Kyoka Uzan, who has the ability to make slaves, which I know sounds pretty bad, but... So anyway, she offers him the opportunity to submit to her, which allows him to activate his ultimate ability, slavery. Transforming him to the super powerful combat form that can decimate the monster army. This gives him the chance to be the hero he always wanted to be, but unfortunately, men can't technically join the Anti-Demon Corps. But it's okay because they found a little loophole. He joins the 7th unit and moves into their all-female residence to the dismay of all the girls that live there, and has to prove his worth by becoming their caretaker, being a stay-at-home dad, doing the housework, and cooking up a mean meal in the kitchen.
It's got that secret ingredient.
Ooh-hoo! And what's that?
Come.
Okay, I know that description makes it sound like it's some weird harem ecchi shit, but hear me out. It's
Okay.
good weird harem ecchi shit. This is a manga written by the same guy who did Oh no. But okay, regardless of your opinions of Akame ga Kill, and God knows I have my opinions, I think there's one thing we can all come together to agree on. Esdeath was bloody hot. So imagine Akame ga Kill, but every girl is a different flavor of Esdeath, and replace all the edgy violence and character deaths with S-tier horny. That's Mato Seihe no Slave.
Got
It's been a long time since I've enjoyed an ecchi series this much, and yes, there is more that goes into a good ecchi series than just slapping some sexy anime girls in your face and calling it a day. Just because you appreciate anime titties doesn't mean you can't do it with a little bit of class. I may be a degenerate, but I'm a degenerate with standards. I'm not one to watch a show with nothing but fan service and ecchi scenes as a selling point. Maybe that would have worked when I was a dumbass 14-year-old kid,
Right.
but motherfucker, there's this thing called hentai. It's like ecchi, but without the blue ball in.
And it's art.
If I'm gonna watch a show, there
And
needs
it's
to be another
art.
hook, nice action, an interesting world, a
Exactly.
romance, plot. But another equally important thing is how you implement the fan service in your show. You can't just
Yeah.
show me thick anime thighs and expect... Sorry, I got distracted. You can't just show me thick anime thighs and expect me to be impressed. And one thing I absolutely despise is when the fan service gets in the way of the action. Nothing quite kills an action scene faster than when you're fully invested in a fight. It's exciting, you're into it, your heart is pounding, the next big punch is about to be thrown, then the series goes, alright, pause for a second. Anime titties. Alright, I'm back to the action. If you're gonna put a bit of fan service in your show, keep it separate, or in the best case, work with it. Fan service should be the spice on your dish. And you know, I'm a good boy from Thailand. I don't just like a little bit of spice in my food, I love a lot of spice. But that doesn't mean I just want to eat a plate full of Carolina Reapers, nor would I appreciate you squirting a bottle of chili sauce on my dish when that dish is a nice cool vanilla ice cream. But luckily, Mato Seihe no Slave knows exactly how and when to spice up his dish. So the
Yeah,
twist to
boy.
Kyoko's powers is that after every battle, she needs to give a reward to a slave that's proportional to the NG they just exerted while she activated her power, with her completely losing control of her body and her body fully willing her actions until the reward has been completely played out. And let's just say these rewards do my Southeast Asian heritage proud.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy...
What this means is
That's
that
a spicy
degeneracy never
meatball.
gets in the way of the action. In fact, they work together to enhance one another because the fan service you get scales with the action that precedes it. There are some chapters that give you just a quick and casual brawl that rewards you with just a little tease, just a little tickling of the balls. But it's when you get the epic, multi-chapter, arc-ending fights. There's the anticipation that as a reader, you know that once the battle is over, there is an equally epic, high-intensity, full-on degenerate ecchi scene from the gods waiting for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Pavlovian degeneracy. I'm of the firm belief that if you're going to go down the degenerate route, just fully commit. You think
not
a seasoned anime viewer, I'm impressed watching the millionth dense protagonist accidentally walk into the girls' changing room. Oh no, baka hentai. No. And thankfully, this series pulls no punches in either its action or its culture. According to the lore, each reward Yuki is given is based on his subconscious desires. And thankfully for the readers, our boy must be the average Genshin Impact player because he ain't just bricked up, he's the entire fucking wall. Starting us off with just a vanilla makeout sesh, as the series goes on, the rewards get more and more spicy like he's cycling through the entire library of hentai tags. Not a fan of the main girl? No worries. The series introduces a literal army of dummy mummies, semen demons, waifus with weaponized thickness, and here, come here. Let me give you a little bit of a spoiler. Kyoko can lend her powers out to other girls. You know what that means.
I have. Come.
But this is the one thing Mato Seihe does that separates it from every other generic ecchi series. It has plot. I'm not going to lie and say that fan service isn't one of the main selling points here, but that doesn't mean there's not more going for it as well. For one, the action is actually pretty kick-ass that goes beyond, I'm gonna defeat you with the power of friendship and titties. Each girl's unique ability brings more dimension to the action. What the fuck was that? I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna punch you really hard. All the fights have their own thoughts and tactics put into them based on the powers that are present on the playing field. There's a girl who literally just has Zodworld that she activates by doing a fucking JoJo pose. Another girl has an ability called Python where she has to pre-program her body movements like a goddamn software engineer. There's a MILF. I can't remember what her powers are. And a similar level of thought has been put into the characters and the general world around them. With a concept like this, it would have been easy just to slap a bunch of cardboard cutout waifus everywhere and throw in some nonsensical, wacky plots whose only job is to get from one ecchi scene to the next. But each girl has their own backstory and motivation that drives the plot forward. And we actually see development with some of them, more than just the amount of ways they can sit on the protagonist's face. We learn more about the social structure and dynamics of the monsters and the anti-demon core that fight them, interfamily drama, power scalings, power rankings, rankings, tournament arcs. I'ma be real, this story isn't gonna be winning awards anytime soon, but it does everything it needs to. It does just enough to tickle that part of your brain that wants to grab the popcorn and dumb out your typical shonen action show. When you talk to a lot of anime fans and the topic of guilty pleasures come up, you hear a lot of the same titles getting thrown around. High School of the Dead, High School DxD. I've not talked to a single person that have watched these shows fully and don't talk about them fondly. They know what their appeal is. They know the target audience they're aiming for, and if you're not into these types of shows, they're not going to be changing anyone's opinion. But if you do fall in that target demographic, if you're fine fully embracing the sleeping degenerate in you, then this is like eating McDonald's cooked by a 3-star Michelin chef. Don't lie, these aren't guilty pleasures, these are pleasures you feel no guilt enjoying. They not only fully commit to giving you the peak gourmet fan service you've been craving, but respect you enough to know that you still need more reasons to keep watching once you hit post-nut clarity. You've come. That is Mato Seihei no Slave. It knows what it is, and it devotes itself to being damn near the best product it can be for what it's trying to achieve. So if you want a manga that does one thing and one thing really well, and that one thing is being stepped on by powerful, sexy, military-clad anime girls with the added bonus of a decent enough plots, characters, and actually pretty damn good action, then Mato Seihei no Slave is the manga for you. In conclusion,
It should have been me, not him!
It's not fair.
Oh, Gigguk, calm down.
Okay.
Calm down.
But that's actually a good way of putting it for why. So if you guys have been around, or if you guys have ever been one of our patrons where we do all of our anime reactions, then you'll know that that's really the best way to put it for what we have a problem with when it comes to fan service. It's when the show is not meant to be a fan service orientated show, but they don't believe in their own plot and their own action sequence and everything else to hold it up. So they throw in unnecessary, like a large amount of unnecessary ones just to keep your attention span. But honestly, it just disconnects me from it even further when you do that. So that was our problem with My Dress Up Darling. We were very worried because the first few episodes, I was like, bro, is this really going to be it? Is this the entire show? Because I thought there was more to this. This show got way too much hype for this to be the only thing going on here. And then it finally steered away from that. Because whoever was in charge of drawing and animating that scene after the first cosplay event in My Dress Up Darling, you need to be locked up. Something is wrong. You need therapy.
Because booby sweat is not...
Sweat everywhere. I was like, bro, we are focusing way too much on sweat and crevices. I don't need any of this right now.
Like sweaty crevices.
So fan service, when done right, is fine.
Tasteful.
Exactly. Which is not impossible to do. It's actually not even hard to do. It's just, I feel like shows don't care enough to try to make it tasteful. They just throw it on out there. They're like, whatever. They'll watch it.
Because they have come.
Yeah. If you guys have ever read the manga that this video was about, let us know, and let us know how you liked it down below, because I've never heard or seen it up until this point. But if it truly has like up to 13 volumes based off the pictures he showed, then that's kind of crazy. So if it's that far along, then by all means let us know how it is, because I truly have never seen or heard of this show before. But that's wild. And it's definitely a Gigguk kind of manga. Thank you guys for the continued support. We will see you for the next video. Bye.